Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday. It's the Not So Live show. All three of us participated in something this weekend, which we're going to get to shortly. But I want to start with just some real talk, real world example. It's the end of the school year, and they started doing this thing where they did these never ending awards days at school. And every grade, you fucking sit there, and the smart kids get all the awards, and the dumb kids don't get so many, and or you're somewhere in the middle. And I shouldn't say dumb kids. Jackson never got any, and he never cared. And then one year, I could tell like he was like really upset. Well, thank God they finally got rid of that. So now they just do some fucking presentation or other. They call it PBL. I don't know what it stands for, but they have this thing called PBL nights. So again, like Jackson doesn't care. River usually doesn't care. But Stacy will go. So this year, Jackson was like, I'm like, Jackson, do you want me to go? And if he said no, I would not go. And he said, I don't care. I'm like, I'll take that as a yes. So I show up, and it's a film class, and all of the little groups did some, from what I can tell, because I got there a little late, some 3 to 5 minute video about The Great Gatsby. And so they made these little scenes, and some were really funny and some of it was boring, but you know, kids did what they did. Some kids were in front of the camera, some kids were behind the camera. So the first one starts, and about 2 minutes in, you know, you're watching it over the big screen. It's over the fucking teacher's computer. And about a minute in, like the loudest phone ring ever. He runs over and he stops it. Now, about a minute and a half later, it goes off again. It's like, okay, well, clearly the first time he just ran over to stop it. Surely this time. Do you want to ask me what number he finally stopped it at?
Oh, no.
Because it wasn't number 2.
Oh, no.
How about this? How many times before I said something? How about that? That's a better question.
Oh, I think by 3.
It doesn't stop happening. And I started texting my wife about it. And I'm like, I would say something, A, because it's annoying, B, because I know I can be funny, but I don't want to horrify my kid either, right? Because he's already not happy that I'm there, right? His group hasn't gone yet. And I think it was the 6th time. It was actually between videos, because it was always right between it, and he would just stop it and the video would keep playing. So he finally did it before like the 4th and 5th, or the 3rd and 4th group. And he did it again. And I just stood up and I said, hey, there's a thing called Do Not Disturb on there. If you just touch that, I promise it'll never bother us again. And some people laughed. And I looked over at my son to make sure he wasn't horrified, and he wasn't. He laughed. And then it went off 2 or 3 more times. And every time the parents would turn around and look at me because they wanted me to say something again. But I wasn't. I did my service. So there's 2 teachers in this class. He's not the main one. I talked to the main one later about something about Jackson. But yeah, I was, it's quite shocking. 2026, quite shocking behavior. Not a small buzz either. That full on. Dave doesn't seem nearly as amused as Cheryl.
You know me.
Dave, what would you do in that situation?
I don't know. I likely would have said something a lot sooner.
How old is this person?
That's what I mean. That's you don't know. You don't know what's in a person's head.
Are they in any meaningful relationships? Is there anyone that can?
Somebody said that. One of the parents said, "Tell her you'll call her back." Somebody said that after like the 5th time. And then number 6, I think I finally said, just hey.
Maybe it was like surf notifications, and they were very important.
You mean surf like the app?
Yeah.
Oh. Because at one point I thought maybe that's it. Maybe he set his notification, like it's not just a ring. It's like every email, every Instagram notification, whatever it was. Man, not capable of setting it to Do Not Disturb while we're watching these average to humorous videos that the kids put on. So anyway,
I had a conversation with my husband this week about how if it wasn't for the two of us, we would do so many things worse, because at least we have each other in our lives to call out each other on how dumb we're being or mistakes we're making. Hey, you did that wrong. You did this thing. Apparently I said something really, really offensive and somebody overheard it. And I did not know that I had done that, but he's the one that's going to tell me that, right? So I'm just wondering, who is the person in this man's life who would point out that you're ruining everything by just not controlling your phone? I don't know. All of us need somebody like that.
I can't. I can't. So anyway, that just happened. That's why it's fresh in my mind, and I had to talk about it. So I think everybody wants to know about Dave's HYROX Strong. I think that's probably the biggest question in everybody's mind. So he's talked about it. He's threatened it for months and months. And here we are, HYROX Ottawa. Dave finally gets his big chance.
Yeah, did you see? It doesn't show on here, but when I went in, I put myself as the Ottawa Triple Crown winner.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, because I won.
Oh, sorry. My many sponsors are hiding this. Hang on.
Yes, right. Many sponsors. Yeah. No, so, yes, the Ottawa Triple Crown winner.
There we go.
Because I won a default championship, because I know you like that. And then I won the HYROX Strong. I was the victor there. And then I had the most penalty minutes. So that's another win.
Okay. Congratulations.
So that's Triple
All right.
Crown.
I need to know about these penalty minutes, because I will say the best part of my Saturday, we were watching a movie, but I am like following Frederick Dubé to find out how he's doing in Ottawa. And as soon as he finished, I was able to turn over to you, and your first run was 27 seconds.
27 seconds, yes.
Which was spectacular. I thought, I'm in for a ride. This is going to be terrific. And I was really expecting to then see penalties stacking up. And instead, they just dismissed you out of hand.
Just DQ'd me. So
no fun at all.
There in the rule book, it does say any missed station or any missed run will result in a DQ. But the hope was that the computer wouldn't catch on to it right away, that it wouldn't happen till after, right?
Well, I actually know the official ruling, but I want to get that at the end. I want to hear the story first.
Yeah. So the thought was, maybe the real hope was that I would get through it all, and then on the screen at the end would be my time plus like 150 to 160 minutes in penalties. And that didn't happen. When I crossed the line, it just showed my time, which did create something almost funnier, because I had like 5 people come up to me and congratulate me on setting the world record. And I had to explain, like, no, you don't understand. Like,
they couldn't tell by your physique. I mean, you are fit, Dave, but they couldn't tell by looking at you.
It's not just that. I was goofing around most of the time too, and I was not in a hurry at any point.
But if somebody sees you at the end and sees that time and then looks at you and like, there's a guy in a giant kilt.
Yeah, far from unbroken on the wall balls. Like, I'm just like, so anyway, but most people that were doing it were coming up to try to ask me, how did you do it? Like all that stuff. Right. And I'm just like, no, I cheated immensely. That's how I did it. And my shirt said I'm cheating. You know, it had the thing. Probably the funniest part though. And thanks to Zach followed me around the whole time and took videos and pictures. A lot of people were paying attention, but the funniest part was the volunteers who were unaware of what was going on. And so when I came into the skier, like you say, on a 27-second run, I was the only one there. And the volunteer's like, what wave are you in? And I just responded with, dude, I'm good. Don't worry about it. He's like, okay. Did my ski, got out. And then the next time a volunteer clicked on was going out of the sled, push into the pole, because it was a quick boom. Like you could see me leave one and go into the other. And the guy's like, did you do your run? And I'm like, nope, I'm good. Just went and did my thing. And then it happened again really bad. I guess probably the worst one was a girl at the lunges who saw me come on a farmer carry, because they were side by side. And she's just like, do you know you're supposed to run? And I'm like, yep, good.
By station 5, do you know you're supposed to run?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just, had good fun with it. And then even a lot of the staff knew what I was doing. And they ran with me a little bit, like in my little bit of run from lunges to the wall balls. So yeah, but I was surprised some of the stuff that did click. Like the penalty minutes didn't click. I wasn't terribly surprised in that, but there was no rock zone time either. It didn't. It just the whole concept completely screwed up the computer system. So
because you're not crossing any timing
mats. Here's what I learned.
Yeah.
By the way, Dave, if you want to do this again, and
I will.
I had suggested something like this. I said, don't run in right away just so they don't DQ you, because I thought that might piss somebody off that you were there. But it's not about pissing people off. It's just if you run at least one lap per K, you will get a time plus the 120 penalties. So that's the way to do it. Legally, illegally. If you want to try that next time, just do one lap, then each station, and then you get the then you get the max penalties.
Yeah, if your real goal is to get the penalties on the screen, that would be the way to do it.
Otherwise, it's a DQ if you don't do the runs at all. That's in any station. That's the
It was kind of funny because there were so many clues about what I was about to do. Literally wearing a shirt saying what I was about to do. My shoes, I had pure flat Metcons on, like no running shoes whatsoever. And so it was interesting. A lot of people were very excited to watch me do it and thought it was very funny. Everybody got the joke. Nobody was upset about it. There was no negativity. I think my only concern was when I did cross the line and I saw that it didn't do the penalties and just the time was like, for God's sakes, don't flash world record. I'm like, that would just be so much.
You go up and hit the gong.
Yeah. So anyway, it was good. It was good fun. Honestly, I enjoyed it. They should do it. It was so much fun.
Just when you said going from the farmers into the lunges, I got excited because I'm like, isn't that we all want? It's like, oh fuck, I just got done and now I got to run again because the farmers is over so quickly.
Yeah, but that was you're sure there it wasn't so bad. But going from sled to sled, and I can honestly say I did not get good lanes on my push or my pull for the solo for the HYROX there. I did not get good lanes. So going from sled to sled, that I was dying for a little bit of a jog after the pull, but still kept going on. But the lanes, like I said, I could tell because on Thursday night when I ran, sled moved much better than it did on Saturday, and I was much fresher on Saturday than I was going into it on Thursday. So
it was just a lane issue.
I do believe so. There were some bad lanes. I know some people got 7-minute pulls here and there. So, and guys that would normally get a 4-minute pull or something in that neck of the woods to go out and get some. So it's the same as always. There's an inconsistency from lane to lane. And I think it seemed that the middle lanes were better. And that's why on Thursday, when I ran with John, we were kind of in the middle. But in my solo, because I was in between waves, I ended up right at the front. Right. So it was a bit of a tougher pull and push. So, but still, definitely worth it. I would do it again. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad everybody got the joke.
I'm glad too. And I think the only way it could be a problem is if you inspire too many people. And then HYROX has to put out an IG post that says, please do not do this. You will be immediately removed from the course. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's going to happen. But.
Well, no, I don't think so. Because most people aren't going to want to pay. They're going to pay what they pay and they want to do the whole thing, the whole experience. Most people aren't willing to go out there.
For social media, people will do almost anything. And I know that's not why you did it.
No, I did it for my own personal amusement.
Right.
It's like anything. As long as I find my joke funny, that's all I care.
Right.
This feels like a victimless crime. He positioned himself.
You have the best turns of phrases. This is absolutely a victimless crime.
Yeah, he positioned himself so that he wasn't going to mess up the judges as far as the weight stacks or anything like that. He was just a guy floating in the middle. It doesn't really seem like it affected anybody. HYROX still got their money.
How about a reverse HYROX strong? Is that a victimless crime?
I think if you've positioned yourself in the wave that's going to allow you to do it without anybody.
Because I think that would be the next move, Dave, is go to do the wall balls first.
So and like Cheryl says, when I set this up, I purposely got myself into the last wave of the day so that I would have as little effect on possible. And when we went out of the gate, I hung back so that when I turned in, no one in my wave would see me and get confused or wonder what the fuck or anything. Anybody who was new in there would go. Now, some of the people who I would who knew me and knew I was starting behind them and then somehow ended up in front of them. Like Robbie Moss, he's like, yeah, like I saw you here and then you were in front of me. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
It's like running a Spartan race, right? You just keep getting like passed by the same cheaters. You're like, wait, I passed those people.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely victimless and it was a good time. I honestly though, HYROX should look at it because damn, it was fun. It was good. It would like, and other gyms are doing it. And it's definitely a good time. So if you do try to do this foolishness and you're willing to waste your money, make sure you go at the back.
I mean, the amount of races people do, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who've done like these Euros and UK people, they've done like 70 races.
So in all honesty, what it has me kind of set to do is actually try on the next one. You know, like
to beat your time.
Yeah, like to give it an effort. So this one I did I mean, I spent a lot of time in the push, although it was hard, you know, posing and waving and goofing off and just, you know, having a good time. I ran in a kilt. Like I clearly gave no concern about my time whatsoever. I was just out for to have some fun. So, but I was like, yeah, I wonder how I could do next time, you know, see if I really pushed it, what it would be like. So that was, I was told though, by an employee of HYROX, HYROX strong, no good. We got to go with HYROX. We don't want the association.
Okay.
Like I understand, and I will update the shirt.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, do they want to have a sponsorship with the Hard Rock Cafe? Is that?
I think that would be, well, the Hard Rock Casino was right by this event. Maybe that was the deal.
Oh, well, there you go.
No, actually, I had originally called it HYROX before, but it never caught on. So, but apparently somebody listened. So,
all right, Cheryl, you did the Camp Rhino HYROX conditioning test.
Yes.
The HCT.
Correct. As opposed to the PFT, which you did last week. It's kind of a new.
I did something last week.
PFT-ish, yeah. But I think they're kind of trying to bill themselves as something that is a little more replicable for the race, like to help you know how you would do in the race based on this test. They feel like it's a better test.
And it
is.
I will say, look, there's no running in this at all. And so I thought, how hard can it be? And I just woke up from a fairly substantial nap. Like I am not recovering well from this. I was pretty surprised. There's no running at all. It's just row, ski, it's BBJs, it's
Is it lunges. On? I want to pull up a video. Is it on their stories or their feed?
Lauren Rontola, she did a nice little synopsis in her story, and hopefully it's still there.
It's probably gone by now, though.
It would see. No, probably not. I think she posted about a little over 24 hours ago.
All right, let's see if we can find it.
Or a little less than 24 hours ago. So see if it's there. It was, look, it was really, really well run. First of all, Camp Rhino always knows what they're doing. Dakota Shackleton, he's really, really excellent coach and had things really well set up. But it is an easy race to set up. It's an easy event to set up. They have, so you're doing burpees across lines instead of in a line. We just had 7 stations, so it was just 7 people at a time starting these things. And so it's a pretty small footprint about where you can do things.
But were you wearing, I thought you were wearing the thing that shows the app. There you are.
So over to the side of this, she had these set up for us to do before or after our actual start times.
To test the machine out.
Correct. To test things like our depth, to test, jumping, that sort of thing. So she says, I'm not going to make you do 20 wall balls. And I said, I can do 20 wall balls. I think she didn't even think I could do 20 wall balls.
What was that, the test to do 20 wall balls?
So to get the reading, you have to do 20 in a row so that they can measure your depth.
Gotcha.
And then you can average of that depth. But this is the actual event, and we're not wearing any technology for that.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you start with the row, and then you go to the BBJs, and then you go to those lunges. And look, they had, unlike you, which I'm going to ask about, we had nice little pads for our lunges so we could put our knees down. This was set up really great. And just, they were just able to move people through really quickly. And then what you do is and the one thing I will say about this is that it's self-report. The judging is on an honor system. And so you're counting your reps, you're reporting your meters on your ski and on your row. And then you put in that information, and then output gives you a score out of 100 to see how you did. So I think that the two things that make it less of an event for me, as far as something that would be something that I would do over and over again, is number one, there are no judges. And so my wall balls, like when I'm counting my wall balls, I can go to whatever depth I want. I can decide whether or not I've hit the target. Like there's nobody telling me whether or not I've done a full rep. And that was really the place where it showed up the most. But then people who were newer to wall balls, who maybe didn't know how to get to depth or whatever, were recording, as many as they thought they were doing. Right. And so that can be kind of an issue, especially because we put in all that information, and then output gives you a score, and it's a score out of 100. So for instance, Jo Stanton, who she is a good friend of the show, you repost her stuff a lot. She's very fun. And she came, and she's kind of an up and coming pro racer here in HYROX, the HYROX world. She scored a 90 out of 100. She's very good and very fit, but the score is actually based on how you stack up to the field that has already done the test.
Ooh.
So it's not a static score.
It's like a percentile.
You're basically getting graded on a curve, is what I asked. And
on anybody who's ever done the test ever, or that day?
No, everybody who's ever done the test ever. Right. And so
what do we call that?
More elites who do
is there
it.
A term for that, Dave?
No, I other than being in a certain percentile, I would have thought, but the other, I guess grading on a curve, but your grade would fluctuate. It's not like you'd have one and it would assign it. It could fluctuate. And that's why I think your percentile could change.
Correct. So she gets a 90 today, and she says, oh, I'm going to retest. I'm going to go to another one. And maybe she gets a 92, or maybe she gets an 84. She has no idea if that actually
as an improvement.
Right.
Because
I've asked,
the field could fluctuate. Like her score theoretically could go from a 92 to an 88 without her doing anything.
She could have been better.
Yeah.
And she, but because there were all these, there she is. She's adorable and is working very hard.
So there's her reps. And so I would be curious to the math. I'll throw it into chat / ask Lauren. Like if your BBJs go up, but your ski stays the same, or your BBJ goes up, but your wall balls go down. Like that's the part, like that part alone, even without the grading on the curve thing is like, you know what I'm saying? Cause like with the what do you call it? With the Peak 500, there's a score after each thing, and then that's your total. Here,
it's a straight number.
It's a number based on something.
And we don't know what it is. And I don't like that. Like I'm sure that the engineers who have figured this out, and Lauren was telling me how smart they are, and I'm sure they are. And I have asked her this question. I sent her my notes on this, and the poor guy's in Ireland, so she probably hasn't heard from him yet. But she's going to confirm this about what I'm saying about the score, that I do think that there is a flaw in this.
She is going to DM me as she's listening to this, by the way. I'm going to get a random DM answering this question. I'm going to be like, what are you talking about? She's going to say, what you and Cheryl talked about on Monday. And I'll be like, okay.
And I know, and you should know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, because I think, listen, this was one of the better fitness tests I've ever done. I felt surprisingly smoked after it. First of all, I'm surrounded by all these CrossFitters, and I'm like, oh no. Like there's a guy next
people.
to me. They're just leisurely rowing a 148, and I'm just
Camp Rhino has had like legit games athletes. Camp Rhino's no joke.
They're all just monsters. And I'm like, oh no, like none of my friends were there. It was just terrible. So, I was trying to keep up. Yeah. It was just.
Exactly. No running to save you.
I got a little sick after the ski. Like I was working harder than I needed to, just because I wanted to keep up. And so it is an excellent fitness test. Like it's a great benchmark. I just think a straight score might be better. Right. But the problem is that as part of your score, you actually input your 5K time. So I just gave an estimate of what my 5K time, not your mile time, but your 5K time, that's, to give you the endurance score or whatever. But again, people are estimating that. I was very generous as far as I was very conservative in what I put in. And I don't know how much that would have changed my score had I put in something that was a little more accurate.
Well, I don't remember that when we talked about it with Lauren.
Yeah, that's something they've thrown in there.
I actually do. When I talked to Lauren about it in Miami, I remember her mentioning the 5K part.
Because
as part of the test. And so as part of the test.
But you don't actually do the 5K. If you did the 5K.
I think you're supposed to. Like, part of it is you are supposed to do an actual 5K, but probably for the sake of this and not giving everybody notice ahead of time to try to go out and PR a 5K.
No, it's because it's only a 20-minute workout. It's 8, 8, and 4 or whatever it is.
Like 35 minutes total.
Yeah, it's not the 5K isn't part of it.
Right.
I think the fact that you have to put it in there means it's part of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right,
to be able to get that score, you need your 5K.
I'm going to my article from 8/15/2022.
Okay. I think it's an accurate thing to put in.
Athletes complete the test in one continuous session with short rest period between intervals. Yeah, we went over this last week. Interval 1, 8-minute max, interval 2. So yeah, it's not on here.
The 5K you don't do the 5K at the same time.
But I'm saying it's not supposed to. Here's what my article says. Row total meters, burpee BJ number of reps, reverse lunges number of reps, ski total meters, wall balls reps, total score equals sum of all meters and reps. So I think they've come up with this math since we made this.
Probably. And look, yeah, there's some very smart, it's like Anthony Parasini coming up with the point system. Like, it's not something we can all just easily do, but it makes sense, right? Like
the quarterback rating system.
Yeah. And you put in your 5K time. I will say the fact that there aren't judges, not only are you having issues with wall ball depth, which is always an issue, and that those people are then being put into that pile that then skews the curve.
Right.
But I lost track of my lunges. Like, I ended up
count 25 of something.
Right. So I was, in the hundreds, like I think I did 121, but I think I may have done 111. Like, did I recount 60s? Right. And so I just split the difference, so
when I'm in the gym training by myself, doing BBJs, somewhere on the 8th rep, I'm like, am I counting when I jump or when I land? Like, in my head, you know what I'm saying? Like, even on rep number 8,
Right. So there is room for improvement, but I love the test. I loved it. And I would use it as a benchmark test as much as, say, HTX, right? Where if I just wanted to throw something in there, see where my fitness was, I felt properly beaten up by the time that was over.
It's an HGX for when you're suicidal, isn't that when you do that?
I think if you really have had a bad day and you just want to forget all your problems, you do HTX.
Yeah. Just to make things worse.
Yeah. I very much liked it. I had a great time. It was a really well-run event. The fact that it is set up time-wise, those 2-minute rests are just the perfect amount to be able to move to the next station, recover a tiny bit, but then you got to get back to work. My heart rate was substantially higher than I expected it to be.
Did you bring a cute water bottle?
Of course.
Did you refresh between sets?
I made myself do that.
Okay. Every break or just one break?
Every 2-minute break, I would give myself a couple drinks. Absolutely.
The fact that it's all time-based too makes it much easier to plan for a large group. So when you're putting multiple waves through, having it being time-based makes it so much easier to plan than and honestly, like when we do a DEKA Strong, it's a bit of a guessing game as to how long someone's going to be. Whereas this being a time-based is very easy to schedule.
Well, and I will say that especially like a DEKA Strong, if you're a newer athlete, somebody who's less experienced, in my opinion, there's nothing worse than sort of having everybody watch you be slow, right? Yeah. Like, it just makes it that much worse. And look, my BBJs were terrible. I was just phoning those in. Nobody could tell because everybody's just hopping back and forth, right? Like, nobody knew I was on rep 4 and everybody else was on rep 16, right? So it works that way. It's not as intimidating.
Yeah.
Well, that gym, I mean, I've been there. I haven't been there in like over a decade, but I'm sure they must do a bunch of DEKA events there too, right? Because you could run so many people through that.
They just announced September 5th, Dave, they're doing an Atlas Smile and Strong event.
Nice.
And I have to do an Atlas.
Yeah.
I've got to do an Atlas Peak.
Yeah. Jake too.
Well, Jake's already done it. I mean, of course he has. I've not, because I'm terrified of lifting 35-pound dumbbells over my head, and I need to stop being afraid of that. So
yes,
we will be discussing this.
Yes,
I will be asking you for tips.
Yeah, a lot of pacing.
Yeah, but they have plenty of room, so they can run it all and have it go well. What are you drinking there, Matt?
Oh, I'm drinking a little metal.
Nice. What flavor is it?
Fresh reinforcements arrived just before this program, so
okay.
I stuck a couple in the fridge back there. This is my favorite flavor. This is mixed berry. I talked about needing glasses. I can't see things close anymore. I was on a call with a client today, and they brought up a document, and I was like, should I tell them I can't fucking read this? Like, Lauren, could you zoom in a little bit on that document for me, please?
So I'm doing that output test, and Lauren's showing me on the iPad all these different things, and I'm just having to nod. Like, I had no idea what those words were, like, just act like you're not too old and you need to run and get your glasses. So anyway, that looks effervescent, which I didn't realize about metal.
It is, in fact, effervescent, and it's quite tasty. I would not be pounding this, because I already had one when the show started. I would not be pounding this.
So
I would refill my cup something
it's
else.
Carbohydrate. That's what you're drinking. Is you've got carbs.
I'm going to read to you what I'm drinking. Nope,
okay.
Can't do it.
He thinks he is.
I have to take a picture. Oh my goodness. How did this happen? How did I wake up one day and I can't read what's right the fuck in front of me?
Dave, do you need glasses yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For reading small things.
We've got no
day-to-day,
sugars.
no.
We've got no sugars. We've got only 5 grams of sodium. We've got vitamin D. We've got vitamin C. We've got niacin. We've got vitamin B. We've got vitamin B. We've got manganese. Only 40 calories per serving.
Okay, so there's 40 calories. What is the sweetener if it's not sugar?
Well, there's 7 grams of sugar.
Right.
It says dietary fiber, 0G, total sugar includes 0G added sugar. So it's 0% of your daily. So there's a little bit of sugar.
Right. And usually it's some other form of sweetener is what I'm asking. So
white grape juice concentrate must be that, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm just reading what I'm drinking.
What are you drinking?
Harmon's non-alcoholic beer.
How is it?
It's pretty good. It's about 60 calories, water, malted barley, wheat, hops, yeast. There we go. That's it. Not a lot of fancy words.
And no alcohol.
No alcohol.
Are we done with NA? Is there no more NA in your house?
What, NA? This isn't NA. NA is a non-alcoholic beer.
No, the brand.
I don't think there's a brand NA.
What did you used to always drink?
Athletic Brew?
Yes, Athletic Brew. Sorry.
No, still have Athletic.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to mix it up. We got a wide variety.
Okay. So, I forgot that I signed up for a sim this weekend until I got an email that's like, "Hey, you got a sim this weekend." I was like, "Perfect," because my fucking quads are still killing me from the previous weekend. And I want to say right off the bat, the opposite of my bad experience last weekend. Well organized, great judges, great people, and didn't say like who I was. It wasn't anything like that. The guy who puts it on, it's called Club Endure, and the guy Rob who puts it on wasn't there. His people were. So it's not like they treated me special. So we show up, and first of all, I had a concert the night before. Now I never go to shows anymore, like ever. Like the amount of things that I've thought I was going to go to or even planned to go to, and then don't go. But my old middle school buddy John, I go all the way back to middle school with, we went to go see Sting, and I'm like, I hope this thing isn't early tomorrow. And then I got an email that said your wave is at 11:40, and I'm like, thank God, because if it was at 8 a.m., I would have been fucked. because the show goes until whatever 11:30. I didn't get to sleep until 1. But we got there, and I think there was a class at this gym. The name of the gym is called the Training Room, but they're not the ones who put on the event. It's this other group that put it on at their venue. So there's a decent sized space indoors if you saw the video. So the one hiccup was, so the sled, push, the burpees, and the wall balls were inside. Everything else was outside, and the running was outside. And the one hitch that I did not love was they didn't have a sled pull, and instead they did kettlebells, which I'm never thrilled about.
What do you mean kettlebells?
Kettlebell swings.
Oh.
Instead of the pull. So wasn't thrilled. It was like 120 of those, and we
At
split
least
them
deadlifts.
up. I mean, listen, it's like I said, the only hiccup that I didn't love, because I'm not great at those and I don't want to hurt my back, we grabbed like the smallest weight. I don't even know what that number was, but that's what we both used, and we split it up, and it was fine. But when I asked them, I'm like, hey, the rowers are going downhill. They're like, well, we put them sideways last time and people were tipping over. So they're like, and we know it's kind of a little bit harder, but then, hey, you train harder, you race easier. So it's like, all right. So doing people commented on doing the lunges on concrete, and my buddy Clayton got some bloody knees. I did not do that. I was okay. Like I touched as light as I possibly could. That wasn't nearly what was bad. What was bad was running in the heat. It was a 76, 86 degree day, whatever it was between the time we started and the time we finished. That's the worst part. So, and it was a little long, which they must have put the cone in the wrong place. And I knew it almost right away, but I wasn't, like, there was nothing to do. Like my watch hit 2 miles, and I was like, we're only at like the 3rd station. I was like, something's up. So when it was all said and done, I had run 7.1 miles, and a typical HYROX is like 5.8 to 6.1. And so I looked at my Strava, and one up and back was 0.8, and it should have been, that's like 0.6 is 1,000 meters. So I messaged them after. I'm like, hey, next time put your cones at a different spot. Like, just, I'm not mad, but a little long. So, if we adjust the time, it was like a 135 or a 138 HYROX, which I'm not, like, it was really hot and it was fun to do together. And it's the best wall balls I think I've ever done. We just did 10s. And I think that's the way to go, because I think at races normally I'm like, well, let me see if I can do 15. And it's like, it's not good. So we literally just did 10s, and it was great. We both, like, I started, he finished. That worked great. We were watching the video of my lunges, of my BBJs, and in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm flying. And he's like, you look like little bunny foo-foo. Like, it looked like I'm covering this much ground, my BBJs. So I got to work on those. But the difference in having people that know what they're doing and actually, cheering everybody on. And I didn't know anybody there besides Clayton, but we're running back on this thing called the belt line, which is crowded with regular people all day. But those of us that are running it, all of these little wristbands on. So we're cheering each other on as we're coming and going, as we see each other. Some people are doing solos, some people are doing doubles. And then these coaches would come around and actually do what they're supposed to do. And, at one point when I was on that row, I was running like a 205. She was like, I don't know. Do you think you can row a 201? I don't know. Can you? And I was just like, and that kind of fired me up. And so I rode a little bit faster, and it was really nice. Like, again, considering last weekend, which was this shit show of like, what are you guys even doing? So I had a really good time. Yeah, if it's hot in New York, oh boy, watch out, everybody, because it's a whole fucking different ball game when you're running in that heat.
I haven't caught on, or I don't understand why it hasn't caught on, why people don't bring knee pads to any of these events.
Because they're not old like you, Dave. They just don't think about it.
I think the word you're looking for is smart. They're not smart like me.
Buy the Dylan Scott knee pads. They're not expensive.
So those are the ones that I've been using forever.
Yeah.
And
so I don't think at an indoor event I would ever wear them. I want to know if gloves make a difference. I got these gloves to try from the Rocks Gloves peoples, should I try these for pull and or farmers? Like I see the pros do it. Should I do it?
If you
Your
really
thoughts,
sweat
Dave?
a lot, sure.
I do sweat a lot.
Then go ahead. Yeah, then it'll probably help you.
Cheryl Snow.
When I raced with Dustin, we had extensive conversations about gloves because he's a big glove user. He says yes for the pull, no for farmers, yes for wall balls.
Yes for wall balls.
Look, sometimes I get real slippery. Like my hands get, those balls are not textured. And if you have sweaty hands at all,
I feel like you need that part of your hand. I don't know. I feel like
the problem I worry about is the ones that most people wear. Like I think I see Rich wear them every now and again is like the wide receiver gloves.
Right.
The problem being if you get to a wall ball that's already wet, once those wide receiver glovers get wet, they're worse than not having gloves on. They get incredibly slippery really fast.
So why do wide receivers wear them?
What's that? Because they keep changing them and keep dry ones.
Okay. So this is the kind I have. These are little, like I said, these are from they're called, it says it right on it. I should read it.
Yeah. Like
Dustin uses
the ROX guys. There we go. The ROX guys. Right. Shout out the ROX guys who sent me these gloves. So I should try them in New York and find out what happens.
Dustin uses the gloves that he always used for OCR.
Yeah.
And he says there's just they do everything. I mean, he would use them on wet monkey bars and all the stuff.
Yeah, then they are not wide receiver gloves.
They're
and
not.
I used to be a glove guy for OCR too.
Right.
So
I got the gloves he recommended. I actually cut the fingers out.
That's what these are.
Because I wanted the grip. Yeah. And it also made them less bulky, and I just kept them in my pockets, and I was really glad I had them.
Yeah.
I used them for the wall balls because my hands were slipping on the wall balls, and it shut it right down. It was perfect.
Matt Kemp, my partner, who may be listening, when we race, remind me to put these on. I want to see what they're like for. I don't think I would want them.
Put them on in training beforehand. You should never use something in the middle of the race that you've never done. It could go really
shit. On race day.
I got to go where there's a rope pull because I'm trying to think. My house.
Go do a rope climb. If you can climb a rope with them, then you can pull a sled with them.
Well, and I will say that for me, the sled pull, they've always got chalk right there. I've never had a problem with sled pull.
I put chalk on before the carry. I don't think I've put it on before the pull before.
Yeah, the pull it's really handy, and so it hasn't no pun intended, but it's not so bad for me. And farmer carry, from what Dustin is saying, he doesn't think that the gloves really help, but they are handy to have.
Farmer carry, I mean, I don't know. I haven't found the gloves to help a lot. If the handles are so big on the kettlebells that it kind of negates a bit of the gloves. Like the gloves, if you have smaller handles, it helps wrap right around and get a little bit more friction, right? A little more tacky sticking power. But with those handles being so big, I don't know. I mean, I could try it, but I don't think the glove would make a big difference. I never find them slipping out.
They sent me these months ago, and then I don't know. I must have brought them back here and forgot. Anyway, they just sort of turned up again. Yeah. And so I will now try these. And
if you get really sweaty hands, then the gloves will help.
I mean, I sweat everywhere a lot. So I'm just, that's a problem for me. I'm a sweaty person.
Really
and outside in New York. Yeah.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah,
if it's it's going to rain. So either way.
When I raced in New York, we did that relay in the evening and it was cool and nice. Do you remember how hot it was during the day?
It was scalding hot during the day. It was scalding hot. Yeah.
Not that it matters because it's too soon, but let's take a look at the weather.
I was just looking that up.
I never like to look until like the day before.
Well, you had scalding hot the first time. You had really rainy the next time. Maybe you're going to get just right this time.
Well, it looks like this week is hot and then it drops. Tuesday 95, Wednesday 93, but then next week we're in the 70s. So massive difference. Yeah. But again, I don't believe anything till we get there.
Yeah. It's time to start watching though.
Yeah. And we'll definitely talk about New York next week because I'm going to be there for almost 2 weeks in a row.
That's a long time.
So what else generally do you want to say about Ottawa, Dave? It was the first time there. It was only the third or fourth Canadian HYROX ever. Anything else you want to say about Ottawa, the venue, or the?
Yeah, I had a very interesting experience as a volunteer.
Oh,
for the first time ever, I went to go volunteer to judge, and they said, "It's okay, we're full."
Okay.
And I was
I would
like,
never say that in a million years at any
no,
event.
no. And so me and my partner, John Cross, not my life partner, but my race partner, we went and we both went to volunteer to do some judging. And the girl goes, yeah, we're full. We're like, I don't think you are.
Is it just
really don't think you
you?
are. But I'm just like, we've just been watching. You're really not. You're not full. I said, we can go out there and give you a few hours. She's like, no, we're good. And I said, well, we really are more concerned about signing up for tomorrow. She's like, yeah, we're full for tomorrow.
Wow.
And I'm like, are you thinking about the 20% that aren't going to show and the 60% that do show that don't know what they're doing?
I'm mortified.
And anyway, a guy came in who I guess, I don't know if he was above her or whatever, but he came in and he goes, no. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you.
Okay. So it's just
If
her.
you're at 150% volunteers, you still say, "Yup, we'll take you."
Find you something, yeah.
You never turn down free fucking help. And little do they know who they're getting with you and John. But just period, you take it.
And that's what he goes. He goes, "What's your guys' experience?" And we tell him. He goes, "Okay, send these guys to wall balls." Like just so. Anyway,
I don't care if you're running a freaking 5K, a rodeo. Somebody says, I would like to help, you put them to work.
Well, and at first I was just kind of go, cool, I'm out. But yeah, so it was interesting. I'd never had that happen before at any event of any kind, going up and saying I'd like to volunteer to help, and them going, nope, we're full. So I did explain to them some of the higher ups. I'm like, hey, you might want to explain to these people that
school that person that it's
that's never the right answer.
Right.
Even if they think you're full, you're not. So anyway, so that was it. So we did some good judging. We actually did not judge that Friday because it was like mid shift, and it's not like it used to be when I would show up, and I can't speak for anybody else, but if I would show up and say, hey, I can jump in and give you 2 hours, they'd be like, yeah, please go.
Right.
Now and to their credit, I think they're more organized, which was good. They were more organized about shift changes and all that stuff, which was great. And they knew where everybody was. So that was cool.
Are you the second line or the third line, Dave, for that shift change?
I was the first line when I actually volunteered, when I actually did. The day that I said I would jump in, I was like middle of the first shift somewhere, just randomly on my own time. So we didn't judge that day. And then Saturday we went and judged in the morning. John actually judged all day from 7 in the morning till 9 at night.
Wow.
He did the whole day at wall balls. He did some really, I did the morning, did till from 7 till 2. And it was, again, interesting. And it's funny because I'm in a position now where it has exploded so much that there's still some people who know who I am and some people who have no idea who I am. And the interaction of how these people use me to work was very funny for me. So it was just the way someone would be like, I had one guy and we were there and they were having the pro women solos come in on Saturday morning. And then, you know, the employees, the black shirts and the head judges, they're like, okay, we're going to do the first like 7 or whatever. And I was actually in the first lane. They did have me in the first lane normally. And the guy said, okay, he goes, I'm going to take this. I'm like, cool beans, man, go for it. Right. And this thing again on the doubles. He's like, watch me. It might be a good experience for you.
Oh, that's adorable.
And I just said, hey, cool. I don't mind. And then I said, I've done this and this. He goes, oh, fuck. He's like, well, why are you volunteering? Why aren't you doing this? And I said, because I don't want to be responsible for all these other people. I'm just helping out today. That's it. So then he's like, maybe you do like the third guy or something. So, third woman. So anyway, it was interesting. It was an interesting volunteer. It was a good volunteering experience. So I will say I was impressed that they have become more organized. On the downside, there is still not enough instruction on the wall balls for sure. And the instruction is too late, too loud, and in the wrong place.
They train them on the floor
on the floor. Like when we were actually given training, the race was already underway. And it's very loud because of the DJ, the music, everything going on. So I felt really bad for the guy trying to train people because no one could hear him. And I would say, honestly, by the time, like, there was not a lot of time gone through standards. And by the time we got through it, I think that they were lucky that there was some of us there who did know what was going on, because we had to help a lot of the other people. And yeah, so it was. They definitely need to do that better.
If they're getting the black shirts in for those pro waves, the times that matter, right? And they're nailing that in every city, and like that's like, hey, let's just get that right this year. Like, fine. But yeah, it does seem like just kind of from a practical structural thing. Let's train the wall ball people up here now. X amount of people, it's going to go in one ear and out the other, but at least you're not giving yourself this problem of they're there. That alone is distracting, let alone that there's noise and music.
They put themselves in a position to fail there rather than a position to see.
Set yourself up to win.
Lots of other rooms that they had that they could have went in and just set up a target and brought the wall ball judges in there and said, okay guys, this is what we're doing, and any questions on that, and it would have been way better. Because like we saw some people, and one girl in particular, she looked terrified, just terrified, and she couldn't hear anything, and it was just like, it was what it was. But it, all in all, I mean, I will say from what I noticed on the weekend, judging in the burpees, I believe, has improved. That's gotten better. The wall balls, to be honest, it was very much a lot of the same.
Yeah, I've seen lunges and burpees get way better, because there's less. Only so many people, can cover a lot of people. Whereas wall ball, you need hundreds of people every week, or however many you need. But yeah, they're getting there. And if you don't get a qual spot because the person next to you had a lousy judge, you're gonna have to get over it. Them getting the Elite 15 right. And I definitely want to talk about, if you're done kind of wrapping up Ottawa.
About that. Yeah, I mean, as far as just so I'll wrap up about the rest of Ottawa. Venue was good, was nice. I liked it. It was very close to the airport. I mean, literally right beside the airport. Hotels everywhere, overpriced hotels, but they were there. We camped, much more suited for us. But it went well. Air conditioning, pumping, very, very cold in the venue. That was really good. Stuff like bag check, everything went really well. Parking was cheap. So I personally would think that for me, other than racing with my wife, this was probably my favorite HYROX experience. So yeah, I thought they did a very good job.
And you have a first place flag for doubles, right?
Yeah.
Nice job.
Default.
Let's go. Were you one of one?
101.
Let's go.
World Championship qualified.
That's right. Come with us, Dave.
Come on.
No, we knew going in that it was like that. We talked about it before. We knew going in that we were 101, and we just went out and had a good workout. We didn't really overextend ourselves, which
I dream of those. I dream of knowing I'm going to win. I mean,
and it was just like we got to the station, and at any point we got tired on the run. We're like, let's just take this easy. Let's just hold back, just chill, and go in and do the next one. So it was a lot of fun, and we have decided that we will go again and we will push. So to see how that actually goes, I'll actually run to train.
There's a lot of running in that HYROX.
It is. Who knew?
Well, depends.
Yeah, not if you do it right.
All right. Well, I want to talk about, there were 6 races this weekend. There were, is it 59,000 or 69,000 finishers? I counted it up, but I mean, it's just like, holy shit, right? Every city now, 10, 11,000 people.
I heard, was it 13 in Ottawa? Someone said
11 and change official.
Probably was 13 registered.
Yeah. So like, you can't not have a 4-day event now, right? It's like minimum you got to have 4 days in every city and 5 in some others. But
we're getting everyone questioning when they're going to add an extra day to Toronto.
Well, I mean, I think they got to add them for Tampa. That just sold out. I think they're going to have to. So, but I really liked. It's made the weeks exciting, I think, in a way that I didn't think I would care about or that I didn't know that I'd notice, because it used to be just like, oh, well, this person popped to this or to that. And now it's winning means something. And so, you messaged me like Rich won by 1 second, when Dubé went, but I was watching kind of all weekend, men and women and doubles, like, oh, cool. Like this is who winning matters. It's kind of like Dave. It's kind of like, I don't know how closely either of you watch college football, but it was kind of like the reverse of what they were afraid of with college football. They were saying that when they took away the playoffs, it was going to make the week to week not as important, because it used to be, oh my God, if you lost, you could never, it was over for you, right? And they said it would make the weeks less important. It didn't turn out that way. The weeks are just as important. But to me, it's made the individual races just as important as it made it exciting. Like I care, and I don't know that I cared before. Does that make sense?
Well, when it was based on times, people could win, but if their time was a 58,
right.
it's pretty
now
inconsequential.
if you win in Denver when it's really fucking slow, or you win in Mexico where it's really slow, you won, you get the points.
It's still points.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's bringing out more athletes. So we're seeing more people race.
Well, we're seeing all these names that we never saw before. It was always this kind of cluster of kind of not a lot that we would pay attention to. And now we're seeing all these names show up that make it really fun, I think.
And the names that we do know racing more. I didn't know Rich was going to Ottawa.
Yeah, he kind of needed to. Like he's going to need to start stepping up a little bit. So, and to race on Thursday and then just wait till Saturday night, like late Saturday night to know how you did, that's got to be really stressful. That's got to take a couple months off your life.
That's how we felt. We had to wait till Saturday night to do it was very stressful.
Did you go back to get you did go back to get your flag. Were you both there?
Yeah. Well, like that was the day where I did it right there. I just ran that. And so it was right after that. And John had volunteered that whole day. So we were still there.
Okay.
But it was like 10:30, 20 to 11 at night something like that.
Yeah. Rich was back home already.
Yeah.
So
it was a small crowd.
So I left you guys a voicemail. I left you guys a voice note about this thing. And it's the reason I'm mentioning it is because we talked about this whole concept of what it meant to win the majors. And I was upset, and some others were upset. Dylan and I talked about it, about calling it a Grand Slam. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't really work that way, especially because like the World Championship's still to come, and like there's still the regionals, and it's like you swept the majors, and that's kind of cool. And I couldn't figure out what bothered me, because I thought, well, they're referring to what happens in tennis and golf, and those are 4 different cities. So it's not just that it's international. So it just hit me today, and it's probably obvious to everyone else. I just never said it this way before, and it's important for me to say it because we want to be considered a real sport, this growing thing. We have to talk about sports in a way that's real and relatable. And the reason a Grand Slam happens, and the greatest of all time to ever do it in tennis and golf, it's such an accomplishment, is because each one of those individual races are a championship on their own. There are 20 whatever tennis tournaments in a season, or 30 golf ones, or whatever they are. And then they have these things called the majors, the US Open, Wimbledon, the Masters. These are like these massive life achievements, and they in themselves pay the most money, and they are in fact championship races. The majors are the playoffs. The majors aren't the World Championship. They're almost the opposite. They are a building block to get to the World Championship. So you can't call it a Grand Slam when it's basically like sweeping in the playoffs. It's like when the Knicks beat the fucking Hawks 4-0. So can we please stop? Can we settle down with the Grand Slam talk, please? Because it's not the same thing. Grand Slams on their own are each Grand Slam event is on its own a championship, and winning the majors is a fantastic thing, and we're happy for Joanna and whoever does in the future, but it's not a Grand Slam.
What if we look at it this way? The original word Grand Slam is from baseball, correct?
Yes.
So that's when you clear all the bases. So everybody's on all the bases, right?
Yes.
So like everybody on each of those bases is not really a championship or a major. So this might actually be more attuned to the actual term Grand Slam.
Say it again.
Just saying.
Say it again.
Well, when you're talking about a Grand Slam, right? You know, having everyone on base, that's not anything. It's hitting that final one, getting all of them in. So it's maybe more attuned to the actual term Grand Slam, whereas opposed maybe those other sports are actually using it incorrectly, and HYROX people are using it right.
HYROX is doing us a service by reclaiming the term Grand Slam to what it was originally intended to be.
Exactly, and I think that was their whole motivation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They sat down with some linguists.
Exactly.
They worked this out.
Exactly. So that's why it's called the World Series of Fitness.
So to put it in perspective,
all baseball related.
So to put it in perspective, there are only 6 golfers who've done a Grand Slam in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Not just in a year. Like it's
that's why they're inappropriately using the term. It's terrible. It very much upsets me. I've been thinking about it.
Thank goodness for Till.
It's not just the first part about that each one is a championship. It's that they're really hard to do. It's why we need to not throw out the term GOAT or greatest of all time. Our sport's about 5 years old. We can't do that yet. It's like chill the fuck out. What
about like from wrestling and Natalie Neidhart, the term, can we use BOAT?
What
best of all time?
Is that what she started using?
Yes, the best of all time.
Okay.
BOAT, because you could still currently be the best of all time.
So
it's a fluctuating scale.
Dave is giving me a hard time, and
I am,
and that's fine. I really care about I really care. I know you don't, and I really do.
Not in the least. Not in the least.
I love your take, Dave.
Thank you. The good part about it, though, is I honestly didn't think about giving you a hard time before until just now, and then I thought it was.
I know. I understand. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
I know that there are people who are. I know that there are my people out there who will message me and say you're 100% correct, Matt. If we're gonna set something up, it's got to be. There's a reason it's a major. It's like a major, an accomplishment, right? Really, really hard to do.
Would it be fair, and would you be happy if they called it the sweep?
Absolutely. That's what it was.
Swept the majors.
Right, because technically the regional isn't a major, it's a regional. And again, it's awesome. Ronco was the first one to say, hey, I want to try to do it, and he didn't. So there won't be a lot of folks that do it. It'll be pretty rare. Not as rare as winning a Grand Slam, though. Yeah. Anyway.
So if Joanna wins Worlds, is that a Grand Slam?
No, she will have swept the Worlds and she's the world champ.
Okay. So what is a Grand Slam in HYROX?
There isn't one. There isn't one.
No.
Right.
Now. Wait a minute. What if you win and they go back and change the system, because they could do this, and the majors get a title of an APAC, a European,
still not
a North American.
Still,
and then those are championships. If they call them championships, then by rights it would be the same thing.
Here's what I'll give you for Grand Slam. You ready? If you win HYROX World Championship, DEKA World Championship, Deadly Dozen World Championship, and something else in the same year, or a calendar year, I'll give you that. That's your Grand Slam.
I like that. That would make you a boat too.
Definitely would be the boat.
You would be the boat.
Could you be like a coat, like the coolest of all time? Would there be a coat?
I like that too.
Yeah, I'm the coat.
I don't know why HYROX thinks that they need the hyperbole.
Yeah, you're doing fine on your own.
So is it, sorry, and I mean, I don't pay any attention to this. Is it them doing it, or is it just like different little?
No, they were so fast. HYROX said it. Her sponsor said it. Joanna made a video and said it. And again, I think people are mature enough to know this doesn't mean I don't like Joanna. I'm a fan of Joanna. I'm very impressed with her, what she did. But again, we are covering a sport, and we need to use terms appropriately. And they were so quick to use it, and they just thought, well, we have majors and golf has majors, and so And tennis has majors, so let's call it the Grand Slam. And it's not quite the same thing.
It's not quite the same.
And again, you've devalued it because, again, what happens when she wins Worlds? If she wins Worlds, right? Then it's like you've already blown your wad.
Well, that was my concern is I kind of feel like we're just running out of terms. Like if we're going to throw this stuff around and we feel like we need to say these big things, then when something truly big happens, we don't have a term.
I mean,
for
it's
it.
a good thing the world record's hardly ever been broken because
yeah. And again, like, why are we so focused on having to have a world record every major or else it wasn't good? I don't know. Like, I don't know why we don't just settle on the fact that this is a really fun sport and people are incredible who can do it, and allow that to be. Not everybody needs a trophy, right? We can just allow it to be what it is and not try to act like it needs to be something more.
I think they've abandoned it because I set the world record this weekend and they didn't post anything.
No, like usually
Nothing.
Rock's Life would have had a picture of you in your kilt and said something.
Terrible.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to something I'm happy about.
Okay.
They announced the prize money's up.
Oh.
And it has gone up. Is it double from last year?
I thought it went from 30 to 40.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm just talking about the winner. My bad.
Yeah, the winner went up from 30 to 40. There's $300K just for the solos. There's another, is it 125 for the doubles? And then there's some relay money. I got a couple of questions. I didn't realize it, or I forgot. They're only paying top 5 doubles teams. And I was like, why are they doing that? And last year they did the same thing, but I don't remember caring or thinking about it. But why?
Actually, I think you did mention it last year.
Why are we not paying all the teams? Even why are we just making it top heavy and not worrying about it?
Because they don't care as much about doubles.
But they do. Don't they?
Evidence would say to the contrary. I mean, by sheer evidence, I mean, if you're putting more money on the solo than you are on the double and paying out deeper, clearly you don't care as much about the doubles.
So here's the little graphic which went up. Let's screen share. We talked about it last year.
I remember it being mentioned because the fact that I knew it means you mentioned it, because otherwise I wouldn't have cared.
So 30K first place, not nothing. So 15K, that's pretty sweet. Even if you suck at singles and you end up at the bottom, you're going to leave with 15K if you win doubles. Second place, 16,000. Third place, 10. Fourth place, 5. Sixth place, 3,000. Last year, a grand total of 62,000 was given away. This year, 126,000 is given away. Relay is also top 5, by the way.
How much is 15th in solo?
Let's have a look. Shall we? Let's go to Hybrid Fitness Media. What position did you say?
15.
15.
$1,000. So it starts at 40, 30, 20, 12, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2015. Yeah.
Now, educate me on this. Are the athletes, like, for Worlds in Elite 15, do they have to pay an entry? And are they like is there
no, they don't pay entries for majors or Worlds.
Okay, no, they're accommodated, but their accommodations and stuff aren't covered, right?
No.
Okay.
They get a kit, and they get a kit and all the other stuff.
So realistically, 10th up, maybe 11th up, you're gonna make money or break even, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and it's definitely, I think it is one of those things people say, hey, I can't pay my rent and exposure, but I do think you are getting viewed by a lot of folks if you have a chance to put yourself on the map, right? If you
I'm just saying, I would have scaled it a little more, but
more for the people at the bottom, you mean?
Just so so that the people at the bottom maybe are at least breaking even. you know.
$1,000 seems a little insulting. It's like, here you go. This isn't going to help you at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far, but I do think it's. I do think if you're only having a payout for 15 athletes, that it would be nice if those 15 athletes at least could cover their hotel.
Right. I mean, listen, Stockholm is not the cheapest option, right? These people are going to pay.
Dude, Ottawa was $500 a night. I can't imagine what Stockholm is.
Stockholm hotels actually weren't that bad. Flights over is bad. Hotels bad.
The flights over are a nightmare.
I'm no longer happy. You guys sucked up my bad mood. I was in a good mood. I was in a good mood, and now I realize, as hot as they are, peak HYROX, sellouts everywhere, 60,000 people in one weekend. Give it up, HYROX. Let's go. Come on. This was like, couldn't they have been like, you know what? $100,000 for the winner. Couldn't they have done that this year?
Or keep the prize purse as it is and pay accommodations for the Elite 15.
Not a bad thought.
I don't know. How about $100,000 to the winner? How about like, we're a real sport. Here's $100,000.
How much doesn't CrossFit pay a ridiculous amount of money?
Yes,
but they suffer the same.
Like, they had like $300,000 for the winner.
Well, yeah, last time it was like $250,000, I think. But either way, it's like the winner, and then it's a massive drop off.
Okay.
And then like
top three does okay. Top three does okay. I think if you're not in the top 10, maybe even top 8, you're losing money. I think third place was like $75,000 or $100,000 a couple.
And you're paying to enter the CrossFit Games too, and it's not cheap.
Well, so they, the.
Well, by the way, we're only talking about a week. We're not mentioning like the 52 weeks of training and racing and eating and clothing, and we're not even talking about that.
Well, and most of these athletes are not going there for one night. They're going there for a week, at least, at least a week of accommodations.
Right. Acclimate. And
how did you guys bum me out? I was so excited about the money doubling, and now I'm like, it's not enough.
Well, obviously it's a great step in the right direction, but I do think if they're going to be marketing this Elite 15 idea, then, and they want these athletes to be full-time athletes, they're probably going to need to do more for, say, 10 through 15 than what they're currently doing. And maybe they will, maybe
I think
things are really
they had
change.
A chance to like say like, oh, you guys thought we were doing okay. Wait till you see this number.
Yeah.
100 for first, 50 for second, even a big drop, but like just some massive amount that they probably can afford.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think 10,000 for 15 all the way up, like still keep it 40,000 for the first, but I would very much love to see that. If they're going to be, if this is their group, if they're the ones that are going to be kind of the people that are marketing the entire sport, then pay them all.
I'm going to make sure that they're not paying for their accommodations. I don't think they are.
I don't think they are. I seem to remember they did that in the past, but that was quite a while ago.
In the early days, they did.
Yeah. Yeah. Prize money wasn't as much, but they were paying accommodations and stuff like that.
Oh, and by the way, if you're late to a meeting, you get penalized.
Yeah.
Athletes are strongly advised to obtain comprehensive travel and medical insurance for each HYROX event they attend. This should include coverage for international travel, competition participation, emergency medical treatment, ambulance transport, hospital care, and repatriation where applicable. What does that mean?
Repatriation.
Thank you. I've never heard that word in my life.
That's when they put you back in your country.
Okay. Like to fly you back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To fly your body back if you die?
Correct.
I shouldn't say such things.
I thought it was a very polite way to put that. Rather than corpse shipping.
Yeah, at one point they did that in the earlier, those first like Chicago Invitationals or the Vegas World Champs. I think they gave them the hotel room.
Yeah. Back the Elite 12, that was all provided.
Being more than 10 minutes late at mandatory media obligations result in a sanction of up to 20% of the athlete's next elite prize payment. All forwarded prize money will be publicly donated to charity at the end of each calendar year. Wait a minute. That's new. Wait a minute. That's new. I asked that question before. Remember I asked that question?
I think so.
I said, hey, what happens to the money? That's new.
There you go.
I asked where roll downs were going to be. I said, where are we getting the roll downs? And I was told, wait, we don't want to announce yet because we're going to tell everybody.
Reasons.
And then it was like, oh, it'll just be from whatever race they did, which is what they did last year. So I don't know what they were thinking of doing, but if there's a roll down, it will be who hopefully they'll be there, I guess. Because it's not necessarily like, oh, I know my race was this, so that's the one they're going to use. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you saw the doubles, have you guys seen the doubles names?
Not updated, no.
I think some men's have already rolled down because there was a couple names that I had no clue.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. Again, I will go to a website called Hybrid Fitness Media. Did I publish this yet? I think I did. Okay. Marco Nikic and Alexis Bernier are the 15th place men, and Martin Lecor and Xavier Dufour are 14th. I've not heard of either of those men. Above them is Martin Enthoven and Louis Osler, and I've heard of them. So if you guys podiumed at a major, I'm sorry I forgot who you were, but I feel like there's already been a roll down in doubles.
I'd have to go through and see. They don't sound familiar to me either, but the doubles have been a lot harder to keep track of. If they put more money into it, it would be easier.
Yeah, we should be giving away more money.
Especially the doubles, which is more exciting.
Breaking news. HYROX is a new partner. They rarely do this, but I got an email this week that the official HYROX warm-up is Ramp. The warm-up system built for HYROX. Remember these sticks? They were going to do it with the kids. These are back. Do you know
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you read this headline to the listener, Cheryl?
Rotation, the hidden secret of HYROX champions.
I mean, clearly that's...
Dude, I've seen Lauren using these all the time.
Which Lauren?
No, I have no idea what the fuck this is.
Smart microloading, your game changer.
So
I'm still not knowing what it is.
Let me open a window. Hey, open a window, kids. No, not that kind of window. Hang on.
They look like those, you remember OCRWC when they had those weighted, phallic looking things? This is kind of what we're looking at here. Fire hose.
Oh, they are those things. Look, did you see that?
Oh, it's basically a shake weight.
How dare you?
Dude,
Listen.
shake weight should totally sponsor. That would be awesome.
They could partner with Surf.
Listen, I hate to be a hater.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I hate to be a hater, guys. And this is something that me and the gentleman from Waterfy talked about is, and I know we've talked about this a lot, is like, can we chill out with the partnerships? And when does it devalue the brand of like, yep, now. Every single person that wants to give us $1, you get to be the official blah, blah, blah.
It reminds me of the new DEKA ab boards that they put in DEKA.
How dare you? Game changer.
Yeah, it's just kind of...
Nancy told me they were a game changer anyway. I mean, aren't they? Dave, as an official judge and a brand ambassador for all things DEKA.
I'm a brand ambassador?
Holy yes, crap. I heard you were on the board. I heard you signed off on this. Were you the final signature on ab boards?
You were like, yes.
Sure I was very consulted on that. I'm very consulted on that.
He has 3 in his home.
It's true. It's true. They're structural though.
I think the difference is DEKA needs it. DEKA needs all the help they can get. God bless DEKA, right? The little engine that could. They need it. HYROX. Like, I just got, like, whoever the previous person whoever the previous girlfriend was that got the flowers, they have to be pissed, right? Wait, I thought we were the official. You said I was pretty. Now new email goes out to the new girlfriend that says, no, you're the new official pretty thing. I mean, I'm always just like, it's just a head scratcher, guys. I wonder.
That the warm-up area is going to be full of those things. Everyone's going to be using them.
Can we have fights with them? Can we throw them at each other?
Weighted? So they're weighted?
They look weighted, yeah.
These
But seriously, they are the
sticks.
exact same thing that they had at OCWC one year that they replaced Rec Bag with.
Fit Fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just socks full of beans. I don't know.
Okay. So dumbbells without the heads.
Yeah, they're not that cool.
Okay. That's going to be weird. I had no idea that this was even a thing. So it's not really reaching us anyway. So I guess they're just taking their money. Maybe they'll just have them laying around the warm-up area. That would be really fun.
Oh, someone's going to smoke someone else with them. Has to. Be. I know I would. This would just be funny.
Well, the good news is...
should we dare to ask what one of those things cost?
Yeah, Fit Fighter... I think they had a rebirth because some of these posts are like 187 weeks ago and some of them are like 15 weeks ago. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. But yeah, we had them at OCR Worlds one year.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Do you want to tell everybody what we're watching, Dave?
Was it Dragon's Den or Shark Tank? Which one is this?
Dragon's Den. This is an American program, Dave. That's Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. All right. Yep.
And what is she doing?
Bean socks, It's like a fire hose sewed at each end with like whatever weight they use, pellets or rubber or something inside for weight. Yeah. It's a thing.
Okay.
I had some of those at one point. I had some Fit Fighters. I think I brought some home from Worlds. R.I.P. Rec Bag, man. They were the greatest.
No, Rec Bag was awesome.
Rec Bag, my Rec Bag has finally bitten the dust because it's been outside so long and like the handles have finally worn off and like I could tape the shit out of it, I'm sure, but I'm just not using it anymore. So I'm using my what do you call it? What's the other brand?
Ram?
Not Ram. I do love my Rams, but
Rams are pretty indestructible.
Rams are pretty damn indestructible. Love my Rams. The bag I use is from Brute Force.
Brute Force. Okay.
Also out of business?
I don't know.
It's hard to stay in business for OCR guys.
No.
Let's see if Brute Force sandbags are...
When your equipment that's relatively unnecessary, it's just not going to have any staying power.
Unnecessary?
Those little weighted sticks, what are we doing with those?
Cheryl, what do you know about fitness? Unnecessary.
I just as soon pick you up, throw you over my shoulder, and walk around. That's going to be much better for me than swinging those things around. Look at that. They're different colors, too.
Rotation, baby.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Wait a minute. Is that the Luke, I'm your father movement? What is that?
A lot of this is how you land the plane.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Look, I could do that. That's a ski erg. I need that.
Wouldn't the weights actually help you pull the bands down in that motion?
I would think they would.
Wait, are you saying... wait a minute. You're not saying figuratively land the plane. You're saying land a plane.
Yeah. Like the dude on the runway.
Right. I thought you meant that's
waving glowy sticks around in the air.
Yes. I thought you were saying it as a figure of speech, like, oh, he didn't quite land the plane on that one.
Oh, no.
Stick sits. That's what we need to look up. Stick sits.
Stick sits?
That's what it was called.
So
they need that what was that guy's name? Tony with the ponytail guy back in the 90s?
Yes.
He'd make it work.
So anyway, when I get emails from HYROX, I just don't know what I'm supposed to get excited about anymore, is what I'm saying. Every week is the official something of HYROX. So, Dave is floating. Dave's starting to float away. Dave, I know the other thing you were talking. Do you want to say what the ab board? I don't. What is it doing? What is the ab board doing on that? What is it doing? I've seen the sit-ups. You're sitting on the board. Like, what are you doing? What's happening, Cheryl? I might have had too much metal. I'm a little excited now.
I think you're a little excited. Look, I'm looking up those sticks for the 1.5K, a pair of them. It costs 100 euros.
What measurement is 1.5K?
3 pounds?
Yeah, like kilos.
Oh, is it kilograms?
Right?
Oh, okay, kilograms. Okay, sorry, I'd expect kg. My bad. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, this is European because it's euros, right? The 2 kgs are 126 euros.
For 5 pounds.
What do the heavy ones cost?
Do you know dumbbells are $1 a pound?
The heaviest one here is 2 kilograms.
So
or maybe, no, 2 kilos, right?
Yeah, so
anyway.
2 kilos is 5 pounds.
Well, you didn't know about, but you guys didn't know about rotation. Rotation is what is the key for all the Laurens and all the Riches and all the Ryans.
Anyway, I didn't mean to distract from the ab boards, but I just had to find out what these things cost.
Now tell me the purpose of doing a pregnant mommy ball sit up on an ab board. What's happening?
Oh God, I have no idea.
DEKA, Dave, you're the final signature.
Yeah. No idea. No idea. Yeah. It's a board on the ground with a little bit of padding and a spot to hook your feet in. I'm sure there's other ab stuff you can do with it, but as far as how it's used in the DEKA, that's what they're using it for. So yeah. It's there. I got nothing. I got no. I am not an ambassador of the ad board.
How about some more good news? Can we talk about DEKA Atlanta?
That's exciting.
So that is when, November?
Yes.
Yeah. 7th, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's go to November right now.
Matt, old Matt would have been preparing to do a DEKA Ultra then.
So here's what's funny. Tampa is October 23rd, then Mexico, then Atlanta DEKA, then Denver. So it's not a HYROX week. So it's totally doable for me. I said to Clayton, we're going to do that. Let's do the DEKA Ultra.
Oh.
By station 4 of our simulation, I said, I don't think I can do a DEKA Ultra. Can we split up the runs though? Not just the stations. Can we tag team it?
There's no DEKA Team Ultra.
Why not?
I don't know. I actually think there should be.
It absolutely should be. You'd get more people.
Yeah.
Right now, there's like 30 to 50 people that sign up for it every time, right?
But that is actually all they have. They don't release any more tickets than that for the Ultra.
So why not keep the same time limits? Start everybody at the same time, right? Or start doubles later. I don't know how you would do it, but why not? I'm not saying do 4 people teams.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I've mentioned it before.
Okay.
I like teams for everything makes it better.
Well, especially something with that much work.
Yeah. Now, I would suggest that if they did do a team ultra, that you would be able to split up the runs.
Well, I'm definitely going to do a singles and a doubles for DEKA Atlanta because it's at the same venue that HYROX was, which is minutes from my house.
What about a 4-person?
Sure, absolutely. I'll do all the categories. Can I do a ruck? Can I throw a ruck in there? Can I do all the categories?
You can do a ruck if you like. You could for your solo do a ruck.
Okay. No. Yeah. Why not? And then for doubles, I'm going to do it with my buddy who's 70. Well, he's 70 now. He's probably 72, so we can qualify in that 120 plus.
Yep.
You would be qualifying for the following year.
I'm well aware, and who knows if I live that long, right? Who knows?
Yep.
Might as well try.
Can I give you guys a quick? Health update?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be very careful how I mention this because there are sensitive listeners. I'm very squeamish. You guys if you've been around me, I don't like to talk about, I don't like to see blood or bodily fluids, or I don't joke about it. Like people, guys especially, I don't know if you know this, Cheryl, like to joke about like their like bowel movements and stuff. I don't like those kind of, I don't like it. Okay. Having said that, a box showed up at my house the other day. And I said, Stacy, what's this? She said, well, the insurance company wants you to poop in a box.
You got a Cologuard, didn't you?
And while I will not describe what happened, I will tell you it's the most disgusting thing I've ever done. And even now, I'm getting sense memory of it. But yes, this is the world we live in. This is what I mailed it in.
Are you open to questions?
I'm open to questions, but again, we have to be very careful.
No, these are not. I don't think these are gross questions.
Okay, go ahead.
These are logistical questions.
Okay.
Was it like in almost like a margarine jar that you had to use? Because like I have experience with a like margarine container-esque device and a support system that went on the toilet to hold such margarine container.
It's like a tub. There's like
a
tub.
Yes. Was this the same setup?
Which on its own would have been fine, because it's a quick close up the box and go. However, it's not. There's I'm just going to say it. Sorry, everybody. A smaller specimen you must obtain.
That's the problem, is you have to interact with the specimen.
Correct. Interacting is the problem. Okay. Why they can't do that part, I don't know. But you do the thing, and now there's a box, and it's very self-contained. They've mastered, like, you just rip it off, and now the new label goes on and all that, right? They've mastered that part. Here's the part that I'm like, to me, this is now, in fact, hazardous material, right? And when you mail
biological waste.
When you mail medical stuff, there's a special label on it, right? This was not. I, in fact, walked into the UPS store with my box, trying to act as casual as possible so that when I hand this to a person, there's no acknowledgement that what I'm handing them, right? And I'm just praying it's busy, and they just go, and I go here, and they say thank you, and I go. And that is exactly what happened. So my wife said, listen, my wife is in the other room listening to me for about 30 minutes because I had to get up the courage to do it and the whole thing, right? She goes, honey, it's this or a colonoscopy. So if that's the alternative, I think it's worth it. But I listen, it's not pleasant for anybody, but if you know me, I'm especially squeamish. I don't watch horror movies. I'm a very squeamish person.
I'm surprised, given that you have run ultra marathons. Ultra marathons made me very tolerant of bodily functions.
Nope. I've gone outside many, many times, but I never look at it. I mean, you
don't want to, there's no interaction.
Grab the leaves
like a dog or anything like that. Like, and you have to pick up for your dog.
Plastic
or
bag,
you don't have a dog.
But even that would have been fine. Like a dog would have been fine. That's different than person. And again, I had babies. I dealt with theirs. This is a whole other level. This is a whole other disgusting. I feel horrible that we even talked about it. I feel people are driving right now going, oh, I feel bad for you.
Just so you feel better, for your experience, that was a one-shot deal, right?
We pray. Maybe it's every year.
But I mean, you had to do one sample.
Well, along with the other part you had to interact with, yes. But yes. You do that, and then there's a special fluid you pour in. I don't know, maybe that.
For my experience, it was an entire weekend of work.
Oh, wow. To make sure you didn't have a problem?
Well, sort of, yeah, but it was a very different kind of thing. But yeah, it was like pretty much every movement of the weekend.
I wouldn't make it.
But there was
no pro by the end.
Like you said, there was no interaction. It was, fill container.
Just the bucket itself would have been fine.
Fill container, seal container.
How often should I do the Cologuard? I'm asking this. And by the way, this came from the insurance company. They were just like, yep, you're old. Here's your box.
Yeah.
Every 3 years.
Every 5 years.
All right.
I have to do every 5 years.
Okay. Fuck you, chat. You know, chat, can you ever just answer your question? It says repeat every 3 years, and then it goes on to say a bunch of other stuff. If you want, I can also break down Cologuard versus colonoscopy accuracy, what Redder users say, whether insurance usually covers. Shut up. So, what a world we live in, though. What a world we live in. That's where we're at. I don't understand why you can't just do that at the hospital instead of the colonoscopy. Like, why not just do that? Like, hey, you leave it, they do the thing, they do the business for you, right? You leave the sample, and you know what I'm saying? Why can't you just do that?
Because they don't want to do it.
Well, and they could, but then the reason why you get the colonoscopy is if they need to do further examination. That's what happened to me.
Right. But why don't they say, rather than doing this at home, which is disgusting, and you can screw it up and you can decontaminate or whatever.
Oh, I see. So it's like leaving a urine sample at the doctor.
Exactly. Why not just do that? I would have come in and done that.
Yeah. I think you would definitely need to pay nurses extra to deal with all of that volume.
How many messages do you think we're going to get about this?
I think this will be the main topic on YouTube.
How many people have been repulsed and say I'm unsubscribing?
Oh no, people are tougher than that. Okay. They'll be fine.
Okay. Well, listen, you should do it. It says age 45. I'm 54. Matt, you don't look a day over 37. I know. I'm 54, and they say do it every 3 years. So I always forget, Dave. Are you 50 or 52?
I'm 50.
You're 50. And John Cross is older than me, right?
John Cross is 62.
Wow.
That's why you were one of one. That's why you won that.
We were in 55 to 59.
55 to 59 pro division.
Yeah.
Cheryl, we don't move up an age group until what, next year?
No, it'll be a while because it averages our age. And so I turned 59 this year. So like it's going to be a few years before our average goes.
Damn it. No.
We're already 55.
Matt, you're what, 52 or 53?
I'm 54.
He's 54. So we're in 55 to 59.
You guys are already in 55 to 50. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So we're going to be there for a while.
So I can't, which one of us is going to make it jump though? Because if you're older than me, shouldn't one of us make it jump at some point?
When our ages average out, but it's going to be a while.
What is it averaging out to now?
What's the average of 58 and 54? It's like 56, right?
Right.
So we got like 4 years.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. So I'm so sorry. I think
if John and I go up another age group, we won't be able to run pro.
Oh, you do the old 80 weights.
Yeah.
Because we would be 60 plus.
Yes. Which is why I'm actively going to stay in mixed doubles because it's going to be the only way I can do pro.
I want to stay with the pro weights.
But here's the good news. When you join that group, you make the most difference. Everybody listened to them when they were upset.
Well, and I will say Peter Kelly, he just races pro anyway. Like you can't podium, you can't do it, but you don't care about that. And so just still register pro. You'll be fine.
Got my flag. Don't need another one.
Yeah.
No room to put them anyway.
Right. So I think still register pro. And I may do the same thing with solo if I go back to solo, but I'm enjoying doubles, and mixed doubles is the way for me to have the entire experience.
Well, see, mixed doubles, what happens when you're over 60 in mixed doubles? Do you go to the
I'm pushing women's pro because mixed doubles is mixed doubles.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So that'll be the same for me, right? Because I'm doing men's open, which is the same as women's pro.
You'll be men's open the rest of your life. Yeah.
Thank God. That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I already have it memorized which bells I have to pick up. Don't make me mention anything else. It's 24. That's all I need to know.
So confusing. I know. Yeah, it is. For everybody out there who's younger than us, which is all of them, welcome to your future. Like all these things we're talking about.
Yep. Pooping in boxes.
It's a nightmare getting older.
Needing larger things on the screen. Wait a minute. What's Deadly's difference in open and pro?
I don't know.
Deadly's?
Yeah.
So
on the plates.
I can't remember. There's so many different weights I can't remember, but there is a noticeable difference. Like did you do opener? No, it's a men's and women's weights. I don't think there's an opener in pro. It's just men's and women's.
So it's the same no matter what.
I think so.
For the elites and everybody.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah. Now Atlas.
When Ryan and I did a team, though, she had to do the men's weights.
Okay. Atlas, I've got another year, and then I will drop down and wait for Atlas. So if
Yeah.
I want to do the heavy, I need to do it this year.
So again, John did that just recently. He did the Atlas with the over 60 weights, and now he's gonna try one with the peak weights.
Right, and you just don't end up on a leaderboard or whatever.
Yeah, so that he can get an Atlas X patch then.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to look up the differences of these weights.
Again, I'm pretty sure it's just men and women. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just men's and women's.
That's not really billed as a race about the weight. I mean, it's
No,
more
it's
about the reps. Yeah.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're good for the week. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next week? Next week is enhanced games.
Rye has a 5K.
And so we'll talk about that. And what else, Dave?
Rye has a 5K.
We will definitely want to hear about that.
Yep.
But yeah, just gearing up for New York.
What? So we weren't going to be able to watch the enhanced games, but now we can.
They're saying it's on YouTube. So I am.
What was that on before?
Just Roku, the Roku channel. They were billing that at first, and now they've got YouTube and one other. I can't remember what it is, but I think they're making it more accessible. So I will be. I'm very involved in this. I very much want to see it. So, yeah.
Well, I kind of, I guess, didn't think about it, but they're going to be pretty short.
Yes. It starts at 6 p.m. here.
There's one wave for the 100-meter.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. 10 guys go. Winner gets $100,000, I think it is, or 125, something big, right?
Sudden death, baby.
Yeah. Just not a lot of events going through really quickly. Starting at 6 p.m. are my time.
I attempted to get an interview. I was told no. I then asked for a ticket, and I was also told no. Oh, it's too late. We're far too busy. We've given away, what did they say the percentage was? 10% of the tickets were media tickets, and you're too late.
Yes. Right.
I was trying to get Cheryl in.
Yeah.
Wow, that would have been cool.
I don't think these things can go off without a hitch. I think something bad's going to happen.
That'll make it exciting.
All right. Well, we'll talk about New York next week and talk about a bunch of other stuff.
Of course we will.
Good night,
All
Gracie.
See, we usually say it when you're not here, Dave.
Thank you, Dave, for saying that.
All right. See you later.